Hi guys, my name is Emily. I'm a 16-year-old girl with a bunch of weird stuff going wrong with me. But I thought I'd introduce me to you guys because all you've really seen is me having seizures. So
And not breathing.
Yeah.
And not breathing.
Yeah.
But basically this channel was like a communication for her doctors because they're not here. They're 4 or 5 hours away, so email wasn't working because the videos were too long sometimes, and so this is what we decided on doing. So
Excuse the very messy background.
Who are you?
I'm Evan, or Evie, depending on...
This is my sister, and she is in college right now, getting a mechanics degree. And she shaved her head for one of our very good friends over in Denver who has had cancer, and she's in remission now.
She just had her last day of chemo yesterday,
Yep.
which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting.
So,
Yeah.
So I get to grow my hair back soon, so we can still be matching.
Mm-hmm.
So,
so I think we should start off with everything that, like the chronic illnesses. And
she doesn't look very sick right now.
I know. I don't look
It's
sick, and that's
silent.
what's...
She's getting her regimen kind of down.
Yeah.
I don't look sick, and that's what confuses a lot of people. I've had teachers yell at me. I've had them blame seizures on ADHD.
Yeah, they don't understand what's going on.
They really don't.
And like many of you have probably gone through, they claim she's faking, that
I'm ditching school.
people with these types of conditions
are
that
too rare.
are too rare. She couldn't possibly be this sick. By the way, I'm Mom. I'm sorry.
This is my mother.
I'm
She's amazing.
well. Thank you.
Every mother is,
Thank you.
but she's
She basically keeps track of everything, which is
Right,
really
right.
complicated.
My role with what's been going on that everybody has seen has been I am the 911 dialer, or the video person, or the take notes person. Evan is the coach that you might see commonly whispering to Emily, encouraging her, trying to help her through some of the steps of the fear factor of having a seizure. If Emily can hear you, we want her to hear positive things. So you'll see those kind of roles in these seizures that you can see online
So
here.
when she passes out, I like make sure, because if she hunches over her neck, she can cause a vocal cord attack, and so not breathing while being passed out is a bigger problem than
Yeah.
just one or the other. And so I make sure she's sitting upright, or I make sure she doesn't hit her head if she passes out.
She also helps me through panic attacks that I've had in the past because of everything that's going wrong and not getting answers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they call this medically induced PTSD. You also might be familiar with that. And through you what?
I didn't know that.
Well, through the past few months, Emily's been working really hard with a counselor on EMDR that has helped, I think, a lot in her being able to take over a lot more control over her care, and how she's trying to get back to some kind of 16-year-old life.
It
If you
has
will.
helped so much. I finally went to a Young Life pool party, which is before the actual first club. So my
It's
granddad,
just like a social outing that she doesn't get to do very often, which
Yeah.
is
and
exciting.
I stayed
Yeah.
the entire time. I also went to one of my school dances. I stayed the entire time.
No problems. I normally sit in the parking lot and wait because I know she's going to have to leave early. Or when she goes to this outing with her buddies, she can't go by herself. So it's been a little bit of
Adjustment.
a family investment in trying to let her do things, but do them safely. And
My dog is choking himself.
our safe area has been very questionable for almost, a year and a half. Yeah.
And before all of this had presented itself, I was a pretty normal, 14-year-old girl.
Mhm.
Almost 15 before
yeah.
or when it all started.
It was November 1st of
Excuse me.
2015.
2015.
2015.
It was right after Halloween. Well, yeah. But I had eaten my
Much candy.
half a pillowcase full of candy,
Nothing
night
wrong with that
prior.
much chocolate.
and it made me reflux, which caused a vocal cord attack. And
Which we didn't know what it was at the time, so
We called the ambulance. We went into the ER. We went to the ER.
14 times in 2 weeks or something.
Yep.
Yeah, it was about a month.
It was
Yeah,
pretty
it felt like it.
significant.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of times we went to the ER because we couldn't stop them. And then
Well, we
eventually,
tried everything because she would pass out sometimes and they would stop, but sometimes they wouldn't. They tried an EpiPen because they didn't believe us that it was not an anaphylaxis reaction.
yeah, I have those too, but
Yeah,
It's
those
different.
are new too.
Right, right. There's a lot that's new here.
Yeah.
Do you think we should do that in a separate video, or should we do that now? Because it can be a little overwhelming, but just
the
telling them.
VCD is way different from my mast cell, which makes me have allergic reactions. It also makes me have non-epileptic seizures. The hospital that I went to said that you can't have non-epileptic seizures. It's conversion disorder. Go home and take a bath.
Or a
No.
walk.
Or walk.
Yeah.
And
Or breathe.
I was having an allergic reaction to strawberries, and I had a cough for a week because I didn't know it was the strawberries. We went to the doctor, and she said, go home, calm down, take a walk, just have a peaceful day. I don't think that helps with allergic reactions, but okay.
That's not normally the prescription for anaphylaxis,
Yeah.
and it's
And
it's been a long year.
it turned out-
really has.
2 days later, I went into anaphylaxis from eating strawberries. We ended up in the ER,
And we knew it wasn't BCD because it was in a different part of her throat. It was.
and I started
higher.
getting itchy, and it was getting harder to breathe. Not just, it was harder than a VCD attack. It was severely difficult to breathe. I kept coughing. I tried to calm down. I was hyperventilating, which doesn't make anything better. And we eventually went to the ER, and with VCD, it feels different every time. So we didn't know if it was VCD or not. So going to the ER was kind of a...
We've been told not to because if they try and trach her, it can be a lot more problematic than
Yeah.
just having a VCD attack. So we were a little skeptical on going to the ER.
But we went anyways, and then we figured out that it was not VCD and that I was very close to anaphylactic shock.
So
That was scary.
Yeah,
They
so
gave
we're
her an
glad
epi
that
and it
didn't
worked.
happen.
And we
yeah.
we taught a nurse how to do an EpiPen, which is great. And so now I have to carry Benadryl with me all the time and my EpiPens all the time.
And I carry
Just in
two
case.
at the same time.
I don't carry any.
We don't have enough sugar to carry any.
Well, getting all that checked in at the school too was
Yeah.
a lot of fun. But
I'm not with her
Now
as
they
much
have-
anymore going to college, so.
Yeah.
yeah.
And along with that, I've been having to be very careful about what I eat. It doesn't mean I am being very careful, but I should be.
Well, it's like, so saltwater taffy, you have like the different flavors, but if they're in the same bag with strawberry, she had one green apple and she needed her EpiPen. So
And I
it was
ended
just
up,
because it was possible cross-contamination. It wasn't necessarily
yeah,
eating strawberries. It was accident. So.
I ended up having to hit my leg twice with my EpiPen and it did not eject anything.
So we had to go to the ER.
We had to go to the ER.
and get Benadryl because they thought it had already ejected.
So,
It was a confusing day.
so they
It
didn't
was
want to give me
really-
any more epinephrine because that can be dangerous.
Very.
So,
So
yeah.
Well, what happened? What happened after VCD? We found food allergies. We found profound gastroparesis.
I started having the non-epileptic seizures. The first seizure I had, I was going in for a emptying study.
for her gallbladder. So like it's a HIDA scan, right?
No, it
Mhm.
was the
It was
was
that
a
one.
high-
It was
Oh,
the
it was
high
a
skin
redo
day.
of a
Yeah.
HIDA scan, and she was fishing for the IV.
Multiple IV.
I've had multiple IVs before. It wasn't bothering me, and all of a sudden I felt really, really sick. I was looking whiter than my sheet on my bed right now. I had bags under my eyes, and I seized for. It wasn't a very long seizure, but it.
But you
No,
passed.
it was a good long seizure. In fact, it was way too long to be a typical seizure. She went stiff as a board up against the wall.
I ended up hurting my hips because the bar that came down for her to do the IV slammed right into my hips whenever I went really stiff.
And that part went about a minute. She was still considered in the seizure by the time they tried to get her on a gurney, and
Which was very difficult to ask,
it was strange. And then they got her into the ER, and the whole experience took them about 35-40 minutes.
And I was out the entire time.
Yeah, about half of that was seizing and half of that was postictal. And then we got into the ER room,
Trauma one.
and sounds like a movie. Dun dun dun. Trauma one. Anyway, and they got her in a bed, and she started to come out of it. It started with her awareness.
I pretty much
started.
knew exactly what had happened. I was like, did I have a seizure? And Mom was like, yes. And I said a very bad word because I was not exactly in control of my mouth. And I ended up really, really, really wanting pancakes.
Yes.
And Evan went to McDonald's
Yes.
and got me pancakes. So that was, some good came out of it. But
The pancakes.
She got pancakes.
I know. But the thing that was, it was difficult to not handle, but think about is the doctors did not blame it on seizures. They blamed it on my syncope, which
They thought it was just her passing out because of her
Yeah.
POTS, but you don't convulse when you pass out because of POTS.
Yeah, and we ended up figuring out that non-epileptic seizures are connected to mast cell, and we figured out that my POTS or syncope is very different. It's a very different reaction than a convulsive seizure.
Yeah, you literally sink. You melt like butter when it's
Yeah.
a POTS attack, but when it's a seizure, it started off with quiet, almost absence type seizures, and
Actually,
she'd have
her second seizure was she walked out of the door because she didn't feel good, and she yelled for me, and she dropped to the floor and just started convulsing. So like
That was my second one, and then after that, it started to
just
become absent seizures.
it was
Slowly
more
but surely.
more relevant. Like they happen more often too.
yeah, they did. They intensified in occurrences per week, and then
One day it was
Yeah.
30 plus seizures. I was flown to Denver. I had been admitted to the hospital. They did a 24-hour EEG.
And it wasn't electrical, so
It wasn't
they sent us
electrical.
home without any diagnosis or any
yeah,
help.
They sent
really.
in
It
a
was
bunch
no
of
problem.
psychologists, though.
yeah.
Yeah. They
Um,
basically said she had conversion disorder, which
They were blaming it on
stress.
me being in so much stress that my body caused it to have seizures.
We had to make sure that Emily was getting care, no matter what it was called. I didn't
Yeah.
care if they called it purple elephants. We needed to make sure she was getting care.
Well, and that was the problem with conversion disorder, which people
Everybody
watching this
thought it was all in my head.
might have a relation to is if you have conversion disorder or if you are diagnosed or it's just put on your chart, nobody really takes care of it. They just say you have conversion disorder and they send you home.
He almost fell.
He did.
He's okay.
He was like,
More
I want to be
comfy
in a
over there.
shot.
But so it's really hard to get help when you have that on your chart.
We've gone over the mast cell activation, the POTS, the stomach preces, the non-epileptic seizures, the vocal cord dysfunction, but something else that I have, it's called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome hypermobile, which means I'm very flexible. I can dislocate joints severely easy. I have a torn rotator cuff because of
Her shoulder fell out of socket.
my shoulder
And
fell
it's
out of
torn.
socket, and it was a very, very hard relocate. And
She's really bendy. She's like a superhero. I mean, if you'd seen her at the gym, I go in and I'm working out and I'm trying to get these muscles to move at all. And she gets on machines and she's like, whee, whoosh. I mean, she's very, very bendy and very, you know.
No.
What?
You sounded like Mickey Mouse. We both did the same thing. Going on YouTube.
But basically, like, she's bendy.
Yeah, she's real bendy. Yeah. There's a lot of things that go with hypermobile.
I do the whole shoulder
Yeah.
thing, but I don't want to hurt my shoulder.
Some people are just hypermobile, and that can be kind of a challenge when you're a high schooler trying to be in sports, trying to get a hobby going, etc. And some people have it so much that there's injury involved, and the care for that can be quite complicated, as you well know. There's not a lot known out there about how to treat or take care of physical therapy, how to take care of a kid with hypermobile, or anybody with hypermobile, or who is. And so it's been a guessing game. It's every day trying to guess, okay, how are you feeling? First of all, are your anxieties high? Do you have any hives? Are you feeling extra bendy in anything that's
And what
injured?
brace should I bring
What
to
brace
school
should
just
she
in case?
wear? Do you have your EpiPens in your purse? Do you have your Benadryl?
You're taking all your meds.
Is your phone on? You can't go anywhere without your phone on and without being able to contact me. Did you take all of your medicine? Did you, now she's hypoglycemic also, and from what we've learned is that goes with mast cell a lot.
So I'm having to eat protein with everything I eat. I'm having
If she feels like crud, she drinks apple juice, but if she doesn't do that in time, she could pass out, which could cause a VCD attack or a seizure. It's kind of like a...
It's like a domino effect.
It's a huge
like,
domino effect that is pretty scary to think about.
But dealing with it, you kind of... Like, not as her, but like, as the people around her, you kind of have a plan when that happens. So
if you have any kind of illness, you have to have a plan if you're going to go out. You have to have a plan if you're even going to go in the car to just go look around, go to a drive-through. You have to.
We started a go bag in the beginning of this,
Yeah.
which is not a bad idea for you guys.
Because it was a really good idea.
We were putting any tricks that we could figure out that would work. You'd test it. If it worked, great. If it didn't, take it out of the bag. It's out.
I have 7 different things that I take in the morning and 4 different things that I take at night to make sure it's my regimen for my MCAS. If I don't take it, I have seizures, I have flare-ups, I am allergic to more stuff. It's difficult to live without the regimen. But with the regimen, I'm going to my high school parties.
She's
hanging out
going
with
to
friends.
school, period.
I'm going to school. I was out of school
She had to
and
be
pulled.
medically withdrawn last
Yeah.
year because
I did
of all
not
this.
finish my sophomore year. I'm finishing it now.
And rocking it. Thank
She's
you
doing
very
well
much.
now because she can focus more on school.
Yeah.
And we had the next trip to Denver is...
Isn't until February.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not till February, so that's a very exciting thing that I don't have to constantly go back every other week.
Mm-hmm.
And say, what did I miss last week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and
And-
that's because I graduated early so that I could go with them because I was doing the same thing. I was catching up just like she was, and that was a lot of stress on Mom
It
because
was way too difficult.
we were both trying to get help, but it was more important for Emily because I didn't have as many classes or something. It's just
And for college, I'm definitely applying for the scholarships that help kids with chronic illnesses. It rewards them for getting through college, not college, high school.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
I think you should do online college.
I think you should too.
I think I should too. But another thing that you should know about me, I got it from my dad. I'm very dyslexic.
Same.
It's so bad that
I've
we have to check if we
No
said the right
association.
thing, if we said right or left.
Mm-hmm.
We have to check with our hands to make sure.
Yeah, go that way or go that way.
And even when I was driving my driving test, he said go left and I went right.
Lovely.
I did that. I did
Well-
that down a one-way road.
Now, just so y'all know, she's not driving again yet.
No, I'm not
No,
driving.
she's not driving.
Not
She
driving
was-
until 6
yeah.
months after my last seizure, and
Yeah.
it's been 2.5, 3.
I would have to look at my calendar.
That is her safe haven. Her calendar is like
This
That's
has
her brain.
saved us all.
It's her brain.
That's the calendar of events for the whole family. We share a calendar on our phones, and that would help y'all too. If everybody can view the same calendar, kind of a family calendar, that will keep you all from, missing things, skipping things, or overbooking things, etc.
Another
I also have
thing-
like a memo in there of all her meds, what worked, what didn't, the milligrams, the prescription numbers,
everything
etc.
she's on.
Another
Um,
thing is
Because when she has to go to the ER and she's at home, I don't know what she's taking, so mom just sends me a list and
Right.
we go from there.
it's a lot of mind work and mind processing to get through and to get to where I am today.
Mm-hmm.
It's been almost 2 years.
The
Yeah, November 1 will be 2 years. Whoa!
the panic attacks were so severe that I couldn't go to school without having one.
Yeah.
And eventually they stopped with the EMDR, with the therapy, and being in therapy is amazing.
You're
It
not like a
helps a
psych
lot.
case if you're in therapy.
No, you're not.
It helps. I've been in
Mhm.
therapy, mom has been in therapy.
We all had to.
Dad's
I
in
mean, it
therapy.
kind of, the dishevelment, I guess, it kind of throws everybody's, lives into a tailspin a little bit, just to be able to support her and to get her back her life, kind of figuring it out, doing research and all that.
One of the key things that has helped me severely is finding hobbies, finding friends that don't judge you for having to cancel on them because you've pinched a nerve in your back and can't walk. Having
Well, also
good
having
relationships
friends
with your teachers.
that'll just watch a movie with you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Having good relationship with your teachers, explaining to them what is wrong and what they can do to help is extremely important.
So if you're a teacher watching this and you have a kid that has EDS or something like this,
Or any
it's
chronic illness.
best just to maybe set up a meeting with their parents and them. to,
Yeah. Or
talk,
when
because
they say they've got this kind of stuff and you get a warning that there's a 504 about them,
read
go get the 504 from the
She-
office
She's a little
Physically-
angry about this.
and read it.
I've had multiple teachers that have not read my 504, and that is why they thought I was faking it. That's why they thought every time that I would have to go to Denver, and it was multiple times, they thought that I was ditching for a week and a half or a couple days at a time. And when I'd have to leave early from school, they thought I would just ditch.
It was
No.
crazy.
My shoulder was hurting, and I needed to go take some, tramadol to stop the pain.
Yeah.
And I
You
can't
can't
be
be
at
at
school
school.
on tramadol.
So you probably already know how much frustration is involved in it because you're going through it on your own, or even if you're not, you probably know somebody that is. But we thought we'd put an introduction out there. This is where we are,
Kind of
even
an
though it's
about me
confusing, and
And I can't
And-
wait to see the blooper reel.
there you go.
There isn't gonna be one.
There should be.
There
Because I'm
should be.
lazy.
I'll edit it.
But
No.
that's us. And
Also, every time I would tell my friend what was wrong with me, they would do research, and they would bring it back to me and scare the crap out of me.
Research is scary, so you gotta.
You've got to find the... I forgot
NIH,
the word.
National Institute of Health, PubMed, and ask
Yeah.
your doctor. Yeah, but don't go to many of those sites that's out there. They're very confusing and they don't
And
have the right information anyway.
You
It's all they
can-
do is scare you.
You can tell your friends, look, I don't want you to do research on this. It won't, or it will not only scare you, but it'll scare me that you've known something that isn't wrong with me, but wrong with someone else, and you get terrified about it.
Yeah.
So that's our video.
I get in trouble a lot.
This is basically us, and we're gonna start vlogging hopefully soon.
And if you have ideas you want us to vlog about or that we've been
Or
through
if
that
you have questions
have
that you want
questions, you know, it can't hurt to put them out there because somebody that's watching this could read your question and try and figure out or help you focus where you should be.